Y'all, you know, all the problems going on in this world, this society, this system. I mean, every bit of it. It's all over it's all over social media. The things that are going on, the disgust of this reality. Like the economy, how the economy's so screwed up, how so many people are struggling financially, ending up homeless, losing their vehicles, stuck in one chintzy pay rate and never able to get any raises. All these employers, they have these job listings up, but they're not really hiring. It's just like an illusion. You apply. I mean, you could apply. I've had periods of 2 years straight of applying to jobs, and like you get nothing but crickets. You get silence. You don't even hear anything back, and it doesn't even matter how qualified or overqualified you are. Okay, and then and then there's the dating world, guys, which really doesn't even exist anymore. I mean, the way you know as a man, the way these women have their behavior is has become a complete dumpster. Okay, this is just another thing all over social media. It's all over YouTube. There's content everywhere about it, and men are giving up, um, and people are giving up, like on life, basically. Because of financial situation and constraint. Um, but I could sit here and talk about the financial part of it and stuff, and that is what it is. You could find it anywhere. I mean, for those of you that are kind of unaware, I mean, there's content creators out here that are gathering up clips that other people made. Look up a homestead journey. Okay, it's a very good channel. The woman that's creating it is very well structured, and I recommend watching that. To really open your eyes to things. But then as far as the man woman crisis goes in the dating world, it just is non-existent anymore. I mean, I think I, I don't know if women have just taken on just some toxic behavior just because they're just dark and evil, or are they just running around in complete survival mode, and using their sexuality to try to gain, any type of material things and money however they can, because let's face it, a lot of women are completely materialistic, and it's not just women. There's a lot of men that are too, but I just the behavior is like it's become nothing but lies and absolute polyamory. All right, I mean, it's like nobody really believes in monogamy anymore. I'm yet to meet a woman in so many years that isn't secretly hiding like several men in the background, or maybe more, other partners, other sexual partners. Yet they'll feed you this whole dream story about who they are, but it's nothing but lies. And it sounds all great. I mean, they make themselves sound to be absolutely what you're looking for, and just like you, and perfect, and they're the complete opposite quite often. I can give you some examples. I mean, there's just so many red flags. And it leaves so many of us just so, like, feeling so broken inside, and just alone. And it's like, what is going on? What's going on in this country? I had the past several women that I've met or even just tried talking to, it's like it doesn't get very far at all before I realize they're just so full of it. Just complete liars. So many of the single mothers out here are just completely promiscuous. They use their children, or even adult children, okay, as a tool, as an excuse to hide men from other men. And this has just been happening more and more. I mean, is it some type of survival mode, or has evil and darkness completely taken over. I've had, oh my goodness, so many of them. All they're worried about is what you have. Okay. And, I've learned this, I've experienced this. Most of these women, they don't even need to be physically attracted to a man. It's like they have this mechanism to completely ignore all that and play make believe. Okay, just to be around his things. Just to be able to say they're with this guy and he makes X amount of money. He drives this type of car. He's got this much into it, blah blah blah. Or he's got these certain amount of toys, and ATVs or whatever. Yeah, I don't even care, guys. It's like I can't even make any progress with these women because I start talking to them and I quickly realize that they're just full of it. I've caught so many of them and so many lies. They create these profiles and they say this, that, or the other. They say they do this for a living. I mean, for example, they work at a salon, dot, 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 dot. But then when you start talking to them, they start tripping up. They start slipping up. Oh, so what do you do? So do you work at a salon or do you just do hair for yourself? And oh, I do hair for myself. And, I have clients that contact me because I'm so good at what I do. They may fly me out to other states and other countries to do their hair, which makes absolutely no sense you know, especially as while their profile said that they work at a salon. So there, boom, there's lie number one. Uh, I really want to go into detail with this, but there's some things I'm just gonna leave out because it's like it's at the point. It's like why bother? Why bother? What's it gonna matter? There's this new one I just started talking to, but they it's like they always expect you to make the effort to reach out to them. They never show any interest in reaching out to you and show that they're interested in getting to know you. And it's like, so why bother? What's the point? Like I messaged this one the other day and it's like, oh, I caught her. She just got out of work and da da da. Oh, she just got a speeding ticket. And it's like, well, I'm like, why were you speeding? She tells me why, whatever. But then it ends up like a couple hours later, I'm like, so what are you up to? She's like, oh, I just got home from dinner, with her kid. But her kid being 19 years old. And I highly doubt that she was speeding to get to her 19-year-old son to go have dinner, to go back home. The way I felt was like she was speeding because she was late for a date. And then she ended up back home with another guy. Just because the day before we were talking, she was engaging, she was messaging back and forth. And then, last night, she's just completely absent, taking hours to respond. So it's like, what are you hiding? What are you doing really? It's like, you know, oh, so what were you doing for the past few hours? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to leave you hanging. I just got wrapped up in some housework, and then I needed to shower, and now I'm blow drying my hair, and it's like, my intuition tells me otherwise. Because last night your behavior was completely different. Yet they tell you that they've been celibate for X amount of years, and they're single, and they haven't been with anybody, and dot 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 dot. While the majority of the time they're lying through their teeth and they're just continuing to act through this behavior. And this has happened time and time and time and time again. It's like nonstop. So it's like you get to the point where you just don't believe anything any of them say anymore. Especially after it always turns out to be absolutely nothing but lies. And especially after they show absolutely no interest in like wanting to engage with you, to wanting to get to know you, to wanting to set plans with you. They want you to just keep chasing them. Okay? And basically belittling yourself and making yourself feel less than because they just won't reciprocate any type of interest to you. And it's usually because they have a roster, they have so many other options. And even after they told you they don't have a roster, it's usually like what the things that they tell you about who they are and what they do is the complete opposite. So, what is going on here really? There's a lot of people in this world that just don't believe in Jesus. They don't believe in God. They've never read the Bible. They don't believe the Bible. But I need to express, guys, how I am someone that has read it. And the things that I'm seeing playing out right now within society, within the system, I can see and interpret that what is taking place and is only going to get a whole lot worse is literally the Bible playing out in this day and age. Like, you cannot deny it. You cannot deny it. Do you guys know even homelessness is starting to become criminalized? There are a lot of states that are starting to make homelessness illegal. So, you know, being a part of a system that usually doesn't pay enough to live the life you want, and quite often doesn't even pay enough to live life at bare minimum. It's sabotage. And if you can't make it, which a lot of people end up not making it, I'm someone struggling myself. If you end up homeless, you're going to be a criminal. You can't, like they're starting to criminalize this. People are getting arrested for living out of their car. I just watched a video a little while ago. Not sure what state it was, but I just watched a husband and wife's RV get towed away by the authorities. They left all of their belongings out of that RV on the side of the road and towed away their home. It was a big RV too. It wasn't just a little van. And it's like, that RV costs money. Probably costs a lot of money. But they were living that way to try to live a better life, to try to afford more easily getting through life. And now their home got towed away. And guys, what's going to happen to that home of theirs? Like, can they even get it back? Or is the system going to turn around and sell it off behind their back and make a profit off of it? The system is starting to penalize people, okay, for standing up for themselves. People are getting fed up. People don't want to work for these shitty little wages anymore, to never get any raise. Okay? They penalize you because, maybe you were born into a poor family. You were born into a poor bloodline. Hence, you were poor. And your family didn't have the money to put you through college, to get some degrees, to get good jobs. But, to go through college, to get those degrees, to hopefully get one of those good jobs, you have to go tens of thousands of dollars into debt most of the time. And it's never guaranteed that you're going to get that job that you studied for and to get that degree for. I've known people this has happened to. And then you don't get that career, and then you're stuck with those tens of thousands of dollars in debt. How are you going to pay them off? Basically, what it comes down to, guys, is conformity. Okay? It's about accepting to conform into this system. And if you don't believe in it, because basically it's one big lie, it's one big illusion, especially nowadays, I do feel horribly for Gen Z. I am Gen X, but I'm seeing a lot of Gen Z out here blaming Gen X. And Gen Z, if you're listening to me right now, I have to tell you, it's not our fault, or maybe not all our fault. You need to look deeper at the system itself and the gov, because that is the problem. Don't always blame your peers, because I'm going through the same thing that you are. Believe me, I am. I am right where you are today. Trust me, I see it. That's why I do these videos. Life in this country is getting worse and worse and worse. It is already written in the Bible, guys. Even the Bible speaks about AI, believe it or not. Yeah, how can that be, right? But it's in there. I've read it. AI. How it helps us in the beginning, and we end up having to destroy it because it becomes a big problem and a threat. They made movies about all this type of stuff in the past. So many different things and certain sci fi movies. And, I'm someone that has always identified a lot of our movies as truths rubbed in our face because I've watched a whole lot of them end up coming true. It's like the elites, the ones that are in control, and they put these storylines out, but it's like they already know. And how? How? Are they all evil? Are they some other race of being in like a human skin suit that has completely enslaved the rest of us, imprisoned us basically? I mean, and back to the Bible again. If you really look deeply at things and you could see it all with clarity, it's basically like we are like the Israelites that were imprisoned by the pharaohs back in ancient Egypt. Okay? And God, Moses, or whoever sent forth the 7 plagues to try and get the Israelites released. You know? And if you know how to look at it, basically, as we the people start to lash out and stand up for ourselves, they're gonna tighten up the noose on us a bit more and more and more. And it's only gonna get worse. And a lot of people are gonna end up dying, sadly, because that's what happened. I, you know, the things that are in my mind, guys, the things that I want to talk about and explain, it gets so hard for me to keep focus on because there's just so much. There's just so much that my mind is always in 12 different directions because there's so much I want to say and explain to people that I just lose focus. You know, but that's why it's so important that other people are starting to see these things and speak up. And they are because I've been watching it, and I'm glad, but it's not going to get any easier. It's going to get so much worse. I kind of just hope it would just speed up, and get to that point of victory as quickly as possible because the struggling and suffering I see going on in the world. And you know then there comes to like a lot of us Americans, we're complaining about this stuff and we're voicing up about it and saying how we're struggling or suffering, what have you. But then there's other people that live in other countries, much more undeveloped countries, that have it much, much worse. The famine and disease out there, or the war, people getting blown up, And these wars, guys, these wars, like it always, like when it really boils down to it, it always comes down to pure greed and dominance. And that is it. I just, that's what it's always been. Hitler was doing it. The Knights Templars were doing it. I mean, they were going around and gathering up all this wealth and stuff, and it's like hoarding it. Then came to the Freemasons, and then, which turned into the United States government. So like that wealth was accrued over time, more than likely from pillaging and stealing from others through tactic of fear and strength in numbers. I don't know, guys. This life is hard. And, there's some of you out there that it's probably very easy because you were very fortunate, or you may have been born into money and you never had to worry. But let me tell you, I can say this as a fact. If something happens in your life to where all that crumbles down, to where that reality that you're currently living crumbles, or if something happens on this earth, like a major catastrophe, and like that money, that wealth isn't going to have any type of worth anymore, any meaning, for those of you that have lived that life or had that silver spoon in your mouth since birth, I think it's going to end up like you guys are going to end up having it the worst, because you're not going to know how to survive, because you had never had to deal with it. You never had to deal with loss or lack or struggle or any type of suffering. You never had to rough it out or live on the streets, or go live in the hoods or the ghettos. I have. All of those three things. I have. I've been through homelessness. I've been through the hoods and ghettos. I've stayed in them. I've had to deal with criminal activity being done against me, and I always fought back. I didn't let people just take things from me. I see, I see a world like I have a dream, just like Martin Luther King, but my dream on this earth is probably absolutely unattainable. I wish it was, and I just like I see a world, guys, where we as humanity is advanced enough now where we should be able to lead ourselves without some controller mechanism. We should all be loving and kind people and sharing and caring. I see a world without money, without currency. Everything on this earth, okay, that we have is more or less provided by nature. Okay, there's the natural resources and minerals and stuff. Yes, they have been broken down and created into other things and other forms. But guys, when it really comes down to it, that doesn't take money. It's still essentially a natural resource. The earth provided it. It costs nothing. And to make those things, all it costs is our interest in doing so, our talent, our skills. We don't need money to better humanity. All we need to better humanity is love and kindness and care for others, to want to help one another, to want to help each other advance and live a better life. Rather than living in greed and need to control and dominate and go kill others to take what they have. That's horrendous behavior. That is the evil. That's the devil energy. And it sucks. It absolutely sucks. Because me living, being who I am, and having this vision and seeing that world, do you have any idea how difficult it is to go on every day in this current reality that's only getting worse? To feel like humanity has absolutely no hope? Like it's only becoming more and more enslavement, more and more imprisonment, entrapment, and money is used to create all of that. As they say, money being the root of all evil, and it absolutely is. They also say it doesn't have to be, that money can be used for good, and it absolutely can, but who's doing so? All these billionaires and trillionaires in the world, well, what good are they doing with it, really? Aside from hoarding it for themselves and just creating their generational wealth. They don't give a crap about anyone else. They really don't give a crap about humanity. All they care about is using the less fortunate and the little guy to make themselves bigger and more. You know, I really wish that we had the ability to actually create, manifest, materialize a reality that really should be just with our mind. But that's just not how it is. Maybe we do have that ability, but maybe our brains, our minds, our consciousness has been restricted so that we cannot, because we've been enslaved and trapped and imprisoned on this earth because of greed, control, and dominance. We all, like, for so many of us, our life outcomes have been controlled and dictated by others. Like we have absolutely no control over our life's outcomes because there's always someone in the way. It's always what someone else thinks or what someone else says that's in a higher up position to deem whether or not you are capable or you have the ability to have a better life. How is it, why is it that others have that power to be able to dictate our life's outcomes? There's always someone in our way. I hope we all wake up. I really do, and rise up and really come together. I think so many people need to stop living in fear and stop being afraid of the control mechanism and the dominators. Because we all are such a higher number than they are. If we all came together, honestly, through love and kindness and care and actually giving a crap about each other, we could better this earth. But so many people are afraid. I'm not. It says right in the Ten Commandments that if the government became tyrannical and reckless and that we the people do have the power to basically get rid of the government. Okay. And I think what scares people about that is, like, if we actually did, if we were able to pull that off, then what we have to worry about is other countries trying to come and rob and steal from us and whatever, because there's just so much uncivilized crap going on in the world. But I mean, maybe, like, are those things going on in the world, is it really just because of greed? It makes me wonder, like, if government didn't exist, governments altogether, like, would the world be a better place? I think it would be if there was no such thing as money or currency. You know, because the earth provides. And if we all have these skills and talents to create more, more advanced things from the earth, then we should just do so. Do so. We each have those certain abilities and talents, okay, and experience to be able to do those certain things and create those certain things, okay, with our skills. and experience, we should be doing those things not for money, but because it's our passion. And we should want to share those things with the rest of the world without requiring money for them. Especially when those things, when it comes down to it, they don't cost anything. They were created by the earth, natural resources. Hope you all have a good rest of your night. Okay? Peace, love, and light, and God bless you all.